Hello, it's Fabian here at The Tangible, here to get you in touch with your next favourite album to be. Today I'm going to be taking a look at Sohn's debut album, Tremors. Sohn, or known to his mum as Christopher Taylor, has been on our radar for quite some time, and I'm sure recently, as you've been going on YouTube, you've been seeing his advert everywhere. Now, Sohn first came to our attention remixing the likes of Disclosure, Rye and Lana Del Rey, and he brought this brilliant electro-soul feel to these really depressing vocals that really brought him into an element of his own. Sohn's popularity went through the roof when he was featured all over the internet on every single blog you can think of, including the likes of Hype Machine. But it wasn't until his release of the Wheel EP that he got signed to 4AD. With 4AD, he's gone on to release his brand new debut album, Tremors, which is 11 tracks of pure melancholy and depression. So if you're looking for something to feel sorry for yourself about too, then this is the one for you. Opening up with track Tempest, this one really lives up to its name as it slowly develops from distorting vocal lyrics into this cataclysmic sound of synth and bass. This collection of synth and bass collects into a really heavy storm that's all laced together with Sohn's now signature falsettos of pain. The vocal loops that open up Tempest feature quite heavily throughout the entire album, especially in previously released tracks Blood Flows and The Wheel. The next song that really sticks out in the track listing is new single Artificer, and the reason it sticks out so much is it has this really weirdly pop vibe to it, and it feels that it's been created specifically to be a people pleaser, which is something that Sohn never generally tends to do. Maybe it's an influence from 4AD to try and get some more sales, or maybe he just felt really happy one day. Who knows? The next track on the album is my personal favourite, Paralysed, which starts to take a much more moodier and self-loathing side to the album. If you thought it was possible, I mean, the stuff previously isn't exactly the most chipper of things to listen to. Taking the piano ballad and adding an electronic atmosphere to it really brings out the despair and the lyricism. Adding electrical glitches and stutters adds this real air of uncertainty, while Sohn proclaims, "No one can slit my throat, nobody can leave me lying in the road like you can." As you can see, he's one of the happiest people on the planet right now. One thing is clear, that every single minute blip, every vocal loop and every lyric has been placed perfectly and expertly and has its purpose for being there. Nothing has just been thrown in just for general content or to bulk it out. This is Sohn at his finest. Here at The Tangible, we like to use our own rating system so you don't feel like we just pluck out a random number from the air like we know most blogs do. The 4 categories that we go by are technical execution, narrative, originality and likability. In terms of technical execution, I've given Sohn Tremors a 9. Very high score, and that is for the simple fact that you can tell, as I said before, that every single part of each track has been put there for a reason, and there's no filler or bulk up in there. When it comes to originality, I've given this album a 6. I feel like the first half of this album really gives a strong portrayal of everything that Sohn is, and it really shows everything that we've come to love and know from him. However, the second half feels a little bit like he's trying to tap into this kind of despairing world of Jamie Woon, Rye and James Blake, and that just doesn't sit properly with the rest of the track listing. When it comes to narrative, I've given this album quite a lowish score, a 5. I've given it quite a low score for the simple fact that I don't feel like he explores very many topics, as everything generally tends to stick to unrequited love and general depression. What does keep it quite high up, however, is the difference in the production that's felt through the entirety of the album. Onto our last category, likability, and I've given him a strong 7. Just for the simple fact that I feel like tracks such as Artificer can really allow people that just listen to the generic UK Top 40 access to his music. Although they may not like everything they hear, I do feel as though they will be able to appreciate everything that Sohn has to offer on Tremors. Averaging all this out brings him to quite a solid 6.8. Not exactly the brilliant debut that we were expecting, but brilliant nonetheless. It's all well and good me standing here talking about what I think about this album, but we want to know what you think about it. Do you agree with everything I've said? Do you really feel that the last half of this album is kind of a bit wishy-washy and a bit too dark for its own good? Or does Sohn come into his own and bring a new level to his personality? If you'd like to get involved in discussion, then just make sure you comment on either our YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, any form of social media you can think of. We're more than likely there. And make sure you check out thetangible.net. My name's Fabian, and thank you very much for joining me.